children to swim there. But this is another country, far from my birthplace in Georgia, and I am grateful to have made my escape to a place where a great many children have never had, and perhaps never will have, a negative thought about learning to swim in water that is open to all. Rereading these essays after decades of traveling, writing, resisting political repression, and facing ostracism in environments that I, through my very presence as a Black woman, was determined to change, I am moved. I see my own vulnerability, faith, and determination to live differently in a different United States and, indeed, a different world. I think of those I loved and lost, of assassinations and murder, of unbearable grief that was born mysteriously by a force within myself that somehow rose to the insistent song of resistance that my ancestors contrived to leave behind. During the years these were written, I discovered what it meant to weep, while everyone around me wanted only smiles. What it meant to stand alone with only love beside me. A loving human, my beloved spouse, Mel Leventhal, whose marriage to me was illegal at the time, and our daughter Rebecca Grant Leventhal Walker, who pressed me into areas of self-discovery I might have missed and been the poorer by far for missing them. There are essays here I had forgotten I had written, some that brought tears and smiles, some that I felt were perhaps too brutally honest. And what was the consequence to those around me, scrutinized by such a relentless gaze? Well, my hope is that what was rendered from the close embrace of my reality is worth something strengthening to you, the reader. One of my struggles was always between creativity and violence. I see that clearly in these essays. Violence against a brutal, repressive culture, but also violence against myself, against my own pain. I survived decades more than anticipated and left the knife's edge of despair largely because I was a writer, an artist, finding dilapidated housing and making it beautiful even as I shook out and re-knitted my own soul's ragged tears. There is good medicine in this volume. Reading it so many years later, I am pleased mostly to realize that its overarching spirit is one of belief in the power of words to help us realize the human need to resist oppression of any and all kinds without apology. Alice Walker, 2023. Part 1. I come out of a tradition where those things are valued, where you talk about a woman with big legs and big hips and black skin. I come out of a Black community where it was all right to have hips and to be heavy. You didn't feel that people didn't like you. The values that imply you must be skinny come from another culture. Those are not the values that I was given by the women who served as my models. I refuse to be judged by the values of another culture. I am a Black woman, and I will stand as best I can in that imagery. Bernice Regan, Black Women and Liberation Movement. Saving the life that is your own. The importance of models in the artist's life. There is a letter Vincent van Gogh wrote to Emile Bernard that is very meaningful to me. A year before he wrote the letter, Van Gogh had had a fight with his domineering friend Gauguin, left his company, and cut off in desperation and anguish his own ear. The letter was written in Saint-Rémy, in the south of France, from a mental institution to which Van Gogh had voluntarily committed himself. I imagine Van Gogh sitting at a rough desk too small for him, looking out at the lovely southern light, and occasionally glancing critically next to him at his own paintings of the land.